Hi guys, this is Mario from Dual Core Studio, and today I will show you how to respawn your player using Game Manager script. But first, let's make some changes in our code. Let's go to player script, and here we have a damage function that we call every time when we hit arrow. So we hit arrow and decrease our health by some damage. And I added this if statement. So if our health is less or equal to 0, then I want to destroy game object. If we go to Unity and see our max HP is 3 and arrow damage is 4, so it should destroy our player. And when I destroy, my player noticed that hearts didn't disappear and we got some error. So let's quickly fix that. It's normal when you write some code and everything works fine, but when you start to destroy objects and instantiate them, you get some errors. That's normal, and we will fix that really quick. So error is in our health UI script in update function. Here we say if our player is not equal to now, then we call this function and that's okay. But when it is now and it is when we destroyed our player, then we want to get component from something that doesn't exist, and this is our error. So I apologize for that. So we will delete that and use find object of type player script. That will fix that error, and we want to set our hearts to false, so we will disable our hearts. And then in our changing UI health function, we don't need this else. Great. Now if I go to Unity and click play, now my player is destroyed, hearts disappeared, and I don't have error. Great. And next thing, I want to make a player prefab. So let's create a new folder. I will call it prefab. You can call it whatever you want. And to make player prefab, I will select my player and put it in my folder. So what is a prefab? Simple explanation, it creates copies of your player. See, all these players have same scripts, the same components, everything is the same. But very important thing, if I make some change, let's say max HP is 5 on this player, notice that other players still have 3 HP. That is because we didn't click apply. So remember, when you make changes, click apply. So now all of my players will have max HP to 5. See? Okay, now let's delete this 4. And idea is to delete our player in the scene and instantiate this prefab. Now let's create an empty object. I will call it game manager. Change icon so I can see it. and let's create a game manager script. Open that script, and here I will use something new in this tutorial, and that is public static game manager GM. So this is static game manager class. What does static means? It means that this class will be saved in your memory, and that will give you easy access to this class and variables. For example, if we create some function, so public void example function, and now go to some script, let's go to player script. Now I can just say game manager .gm .example, and I will call that function. See, I don't need to search my game manager object or get component or something. I just write this, and I can do that in any script I want. So that is easy access. But question is, why not use static variables for everything then? That is because it uses your memory. Remember, static classes and variables will be saved in your memory until you exit your game application or whatever you are doing. So if you have too many static variables and classes, then you will use too much memory. So be careful. So let's delete this, and let's delete this. Now we can go back to game manager, and I want game manager to be singleton. So in my awake function, I will say if gm equals to null, then I want to set gm to this class, and I want to use don't destroy or load game object, and else I want to destroy our GM. So destroy game object. So how this awake works? First, let's say something about don't destroy or load. When you go, let's say from level 1 to level 2, every object will be destroyed. Every object from level 1 will be destroyed unless you say don't destroy or load and choose game object. Okay, so here I have example. Let's say we have two levels, and each level has a game manager object, but we will start our game in level 1. So we start our game in level 1, and our awake function check if gm is equal to null, and it is because we didn't say what is our gm. So gm is null, set this gm to this, and don't this class, and don't destroy on load. Okay, then we will go from level 1 to level 2, and because we used don't destroy on load, our GM1 will go in level 2. And then GM2, so game manager from level 2, will also go through this awake, and it will check if GM equals to null, but GM is not null because we have this GM from level 1, so it will go to else and destroy itself. So GM2 delete, and now we have only one game manager in the scene, and that is idea of Singleton. Okay, great. Now let's go to Unity and create empty object. I will call it respawn point. Let's change icon, and I also want to set tag to respawn, and I want to respawn here. Let's go back to our game manager script. Here we will need a public game object prefab, so we need player prefab that we will instantiate, and we need private game object respawn point. And I want to, in my awake function, set respawn point to game object that has tag respawn. So game object that find object with tag respawn. Sorry. Great. Now I will use coroutine function. So I need public IE numerator respawn. This is a coroutine function, and coroutine function has the ability to stop execution at some point and then resume execution from that point after some delayed time, and we choose that delay. So we choose delay with this yield, return, new, and we will choose wait for seconds and set to 2 seconds. So now when I call my respawn function, I can do something here, and after that is done, I will wait 2 seconds, and I can do something here. So and we will use instantiate after these 2 seconds. So we will have respawn delay 2 seconds. So here we want to say instantiate. We want to instantiate our prefab, and we want to instantiate prefab on respawn point dot transform dot position and respawn point dot transform dot rotation. Great. Remember, I have easy access to this function. So now I will go to my player script, and here I will use that coroutine function. I said earlier that we will delete this, but actually let's use this. So in my damage function, if my health is less or equal to 0, I want to destroy my object and then call my coroutine function. So I need to access this function, game manager.gm, And when working with coroutines, we need to say start coroutine and then choose what coroutine we want. And we want coroutine from game manager, sorry, uh, game manager .gm .respawn. Great. Now let's go to Unity and select game manager. We want to set our prefab to our player prefab, and notice that my player in the scene has damage screen assigned, but my prefab has not, and this is because damage screen is child of canvas and it's not child of our player prefab. So we will get some error here, but we will quickly fix that in script. And no matter if I click apply, I can't assign my damage screen because it's not a child of my player. So now if we press play, I should destroy my player and respawn on top of this platform. So let's try this. 2 seconds and I respawn. But as I said, our respawn player can't access this damage screen image. And that is our blood screen, if you remember. So to fix that, let's go to our script. But first let's add a tag to our blood screen. Add tag. I will use damage tag. Okay. And add this to my blood screen. Now go to script and in the player script, in update function, just add this. If damage screen equals to null, then damage screen equals to find objects with tag damage. And actually we can do that in awake. So let's move this in awake. Void wake. And here just copy this. Now if we go to Unity and click play, let's try this. We destroyed our player and respawned, and our respawned prefab player knows what is damage screen. Now we don't want to use a respawn function every time because we want to have a lives system. So let's go to game manager and add public int lives. In our respawn, we want to decrease our lives. So lives minus equals 1. So it will decrease our lives by 1. And then check if our lives are less than 0. Then we want to use end screen game or something. So debug.log. Here use end screen. Okay. And then we will add here if lives are greater or equal to 0, then we want to instantiate. Okay, Now when we call our respawn function, it will decrease our lives, and if our lives are below 0, we will end our game, and it will wait 2 seconds, and then it will check if our lives are greater than 0, then instantiate. If not, then do nothing. Okay, we call this end screen anyways. Okay, now let's set our lives to 2, and let's destroy our player. See, our lives are 1, and we respawn after 2 seconds. But if I set my lives to 0, so this is my last life, and destroy my player, now it's -1, and see, it says here use end screen, and we didn't uh, respawn. So this is all for today. If you have any questions, please leave that in the comments, and if you like this video, please share and subscribe, and see you next time.